we've got an amazing and a very special guest today. We've got Gita Ramanan here. Hello, Gita. Welcome to our show. Gita Ramanan, born into a traditional Tamilian family, has proven to be an exceptional woman entrepreneur in the home interiors industry. She, along with her partner Shezan Bujani, started Design Cafe in the year 2015. Post a decade long successful career of working on varied projects in the residential and hospitality sector, she decided to focus her energies to solve the existing challenges in the designer home interiors space. An accidental entrepreneur, Geeta heads multiple functions in her company, which range from design thinking and development, brand and marketing, customer happiness, and human resources. She still finds time to devote to her assorted interests like reading, food, travel, and fitness. Where she is a TEDx speaker and has been featured on Business World, Economic Times, Entrepreneur India, SheetThePeople.tv, Outlook India, Your Story, INC 42, and many more. She has been conferred with the Best Businesswoman of the Year Home Interiors by ASSOCHAM and also recognized in Business World's 40 Under 40 list of young achievers. Design Cafe has recently been selected by Discovery Channel for their startup series. We congratulate this young and vibrant entrepreneur and welcome her to Breakfree Millions.
But I'm so happy.
Breakfree Millions with Iffat Khan. I'm so super happy to have you here, Geeta. I did see your TED. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
And that kind of gave me the inspiration what you were going about putting across when it comes to real estate and when it comes to doing amazing things in this industry. You being an architect coming from that background, what is that made you start up something like Design Cafe? Well, just to give you a little bit of a hint, I did take an experience tour in this place, and this is a magnificently designed and really well made. All of your products, that's what you call probably your wardrobes, and all of it are so beautifully designed, and I totally loved it. How did you go about starting this?
Right. Okay, I'm going to try to kind of put this together very quickly, right? So I'm an architect, an interior designer, and we literally started our first firm barely a year out of college, which was because we won a competition. We just did it because we had a lot of time on our hand. We didn't expect to win, but we did. And that's how we started out our entrepreneur journey.
Okay.
But from that, for 10 years in different forms, we actually ran an architecture and interior firm, and we did every kind of project there was, right?
Okay.
But the one area where we again and again saw that the experience was completely broken and there weren't really good solutions to do it was home interiors.
Okay.
And nobody was really looking
I
at that
agree
space,
to that.
right?
Yeah,
You can get 1 million square feet of office space done in 60 days and you can move into it, but you can't get 1,000 square feet of a home done in 60 days. And that's the reality of where we are today, right? And with
it takes ages for you to build a home.
100%, right? And we are not even talking about building, I'm talking about just the interiors of it, just the interiors.
True.
So right now, in so many aspects, we are able to get the best of what is out there in the world, but this part we have not been able to fix at all. We still do it the old traditional way with carpenters who come to site, then there are always problems, then we fix those, and that never ends. Then it never is done on time. It is never done as per the estimate. So it's always crossing, you cross your budget, you cross your time. Everybody, this is supposed to be the most joyous occasion of your life, right? You bought your own home and you want to move into it. But it is so chaotic. You hate it. It's disorganized. It's unpredictable, and it's frustrating at the end of it. And by the end of it, you're like, let's get it done with. And this is the reality of where.
And then you don't get the things right. I mean, you don't do it well, and then you just do it because you got to live in the house, and it's
time
in
to
a
move
hurry,
in.
yeah.
Absolutely, right.
And then, but you end up spending a lot of money.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Regardless of where you do it, even if you kind of compromise and do it with a contractor carpenter, you still are spending a lot of money, right? This is not just buying clothes that you can return or say, okay, I made a wrong purchase, right? So all of this is where we thought that there is somebody who understands the space, who needs to build a business that can be taken across the different cities of India, who will actually be able to give the homeowner on one side complete visibility of how a home is done. Where you do everything yourself because you understand what value there can be made, right? And there are other people doing this, but nobody at all who is completely what we call vertically integrated, who does everything, right? So you have your own designers on board. You once the designs are finalized, you manufacture them in your own factory. You have your own installers, your own carpenters who go and do this at site. So what that means is the client, the customer knows exactly what they're getting, when they're getting it, and at what price they're getting it at. And that predictability is completely standardized. Yet, and now, so we started in October 2015.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Right.
Yeah.
And in almost coming up to about 5,000 homes that we have delivered, one thing I'm really proud of is that no two homes are alike.
Yeah.
In almost 5,000
wow,
homes.
That's incredibly awesome.
Every home is different.
So you guys got about 5,000 designs already, and that's like customized?
Every one of them customized for each customer. With finishes are different, designs different, budgets different, layouts different, right? So this is at one end of it. So what we started was, how do you disrupt this at both ends? One for the customer and the other for the designer and everybody who's actually executing the project. Because it is painful to do, and we did it for so many years. We've done every kind of home possible, in every way possible. Right? What that means is you just know how frustrating it is.
True.
You can design something really nice, but it doesn't happen in reality. It only happens at the very high end. So you do really customized homes, you're doing multi-crore homes, it is possible there now, right? Even 10 years back, no. 5 years, it was just starting to happen. But what about a middle-class Indian? Somebody who's actually saved up, finally got that deposit amount and has now got a home loan and has waited 3 years. So you're paying an EMI and a rent. Your house is coming up for possession. You're so excited by this. You want to move into your own new home, which your first home, but you're not going to a designer because you think the designer is going to be really expensive. So you go to a carpenter, contractor, buy something, put together. You know you're not getting the value for your money. You know you're not getting the best solution. You're not getting space maximization. So you're compromising at every level, whether it's design, whether it's material. There's no warranty, there's no timeline and budget overruns. So we were saying that we have to look and solve this for every Indian homeowner. So you're saying that regardless of your budget, you should get the best home possible at your budget.
Yeah, why not? And I'm quite sure people wouldn't mind spending a couple of, few thousands extra just above their budget to just go ahead, get something which is so beautiful, which is what they've been wanting for.
Absolutely, and clearly we are seeing that, right? Clearly, so right now, for example, from your local contractor, we would be about almost 8 to 10% more expensive than them. But then customers are willing to pay that because they are seeing the value of what they get, right? They are getting material which we are giving a warranty of up to 10 years for.
Oh yes, I know that. I mean, I was just talking to a couple of your designers and they were just explaining me the entire process, which was so amazing. So yeah, they were telling about the warranty stuff, and you guys actually give that warranty and go about doing, that's good.
Because this is the aspect of it, right? You can now go out and buy things, but you don't know what to do, who to go behind when something goes wrong. Everybody passes the buck to somebody else. Right? Even now, even to the people we sign up, we tell them that mistakes are going to happen. Okay, this space is just so chaotic, right? The whole space of interior design, because to get one home done, you are speaking to 25 different vendors, right?
Absolutely.
It's something as simple as a kitchen tap to a kitchen sink to your electrical to curtains, lights, wallpapers, wooden flooring. Do you want decor? Do you want art? And this is multiplied by so much more, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of
how can you do all of this? It is really hard to do all of this by yourself for your home. You want a single point of contact who is looking at all of this and giving you the best value for your money, right? And there is a market for this, which we were very convinced with when we started out. Funnily enough, so I actually, the transition from being an architect to running a business, when that came about and I realized I knew nothing about running a business. I didn't understand a balance sheet. I didn't understand profit, loss and cash flow, or how to do payroll each month. So I said, I have to learn this. and found this scholarship that Goldman Sachs offered for the 10,000 women entrepreneurs, and I won that back in 2011. And I remember that's the first time I put a business plan for Design Cafe together. At that stage, when I did that jury, they actually laughed me out of the room.
Right.
They told me, this is ridiculous. This is not going to work. This is not scalable. This is not a business that you can actually. This is a small business. You can run it.
I've
that
heard
you can
that
do for
so many times from these investors. When you go up with an idea, they're like, this is not just scalable. You can't really do something about this.
Yeah.
But then you've proven it, and which is brilliantly awesome. That and you guys are scaling this out.
Absolutely.
And you guys, before I go to your mission or your vision, like I want to know, Geeta, bringing this concept into Indian market where people are price conscious,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
They are price sensitive. So how did you go about, breaking that barrier of accepting a designer for a middle class family where, they kind of have probably a salary of maybe let's say 60 to 70,000 or 50,000 on an average in Bangalore, if you say, and I see that they can afford a home loan for sure, but what was that? How did you break the barrier? How did you bring this the entire? Because honestly, designers were only meant for people who were rich, the upper class.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how did you do that? How did you go about doing it? How was
See-
your first experience?
So remember the background to this, why we knew this would work, is we have been working in this space for 10 years before we started this, right? Before we started Design Cafe this way, we have done every kind of home there is.
Right.
And initially, for the longest time, I remember people would spend 2 lakhs on their home, 3 lakhs on their home, right? That is how it started, and that's how much people spent on their home. But later, and this is true to every aspect, and why people think it's fantastic to do business in India, is because everybody is so aspirational on what is possible, right? You're traveling, you're going out and seeing what's out there, and where do we spend our time? Where do we truly be ourselves? Where do we get to kind of project who we are? It's our home.
Yeah.
That's what we're most proud of. That's
the
a
most
reflection of who
best
we are,
place
right?
that we'd love to be in, yeah.
That's
No
who-
matter how
that's-
much I go about traveling, I would always want to come back to my bed and go off for a nice little sleep, I love that.
And you look forward to
I look
moments like this.
forward,
This is what we
yeah.
build stories around, right? These are our memories, and this is where they are made.
Home
They are
is a
made
very
in our
special
homes.
place.
So this is always a space which we knew where people would spend as long as they saw value in what
what
they
they
spent
get.
it for,
Yeah.
right? That it was transparent on why this cost so much.
Right,
What
right.
was the value they were getting, right?
Right.
So especially with our busy lives, right? And we were just talking about that before in terms of the busier we get, we want stuff to be organized even more.
Yeah,
right?
and that's more of a customization, not customization, I would say. We become more of, personalization, and also we become a little bit of convenience freak. Like we want everything to be convenient.
Absolutely.
It has to be organized because we're like on the go every time. We'd want, a quick meal, like quick breakfast.
Yeah.
Maybe we just quickly grab something and that's all our breakfast is like. And then we don't really get time to do our wardrobes or to do anything for that matter. Then who solves those challenges?
You solve it by spending time with your designer, with a designer who's trained to ask you the right questions. So our designers, for example, will ask you not just that you want a wardrobe or a kitchen. They'll ask you, for example, how do you cook? How often do you cook? When you cook, how do you store it?
Wow.
And after cooking it, how is it stored? Because
Like,
that
seriously?
changes the way how a kitchen is designed.
Like seriously, you guys ask?
Absolutely. Like in a wardrobe, right? I would ask, for example, what do you collect? What are you passionate about? Because some people collect bags, some people collect shoes, some people love dresses,
Yeah.
and some people love saris, and some people love accessories. And how I would design the interior of your wardrobe would be based on
the collection
and
on
what
your
you have.
collection, yeah.
Because every one of them can't be hung, every one of them can't be folded. So
I
how does
remember
the
you
inside
actually
work?
we had a conversation about the traditional wardrobes that used to be there
And the bottom shelves.
and the
Oh,
bottom
which I
shelves.
hate, which
Oh
I
yes,
despise.
I swear, I'd literally put all of my clothes in there. It was like to be, I used to dump all of it in there, and then finding the one piece out of it used to be so difficult.
Right.
But yeah, you did mention about the kind of customization that you did.
Where now,
is
for
beautiful.
everybody, you give a drawer at the bottom. You You give a drawer with glass in the front, so it's visible as to what is below and inside of that, which
That's
just means
so
you're
awesome.
solving for this, because at the end of the day, yes, we are driven by convenience. We want things to be a certain way, so that we
Right.
don't spend so much time in all of that.
True.
We get on with-
Absolutely.
right?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I'm
Perfect.
focused and passionate
Yeah,
about
yeah.
my work, and you're
Yeah.
also focused and passionate about your work.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to we're thinking about it every day, all day,
Yes.
right? But even when you're on vacation, that's what we're thinking about.
Yes.
You want all of this to just work. You want your things at home to work.
Yeah, honestly, the
That
kind of
works because of
lifestyle
this.
that we have now, it's that, we would want everything to be customized, everything to be like technology friendly, like we get it and we get all of our stuffs, available to us like this.
Right. See, so there
Because
are so
we
many
don't have the
levels of
time.
this. Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? See, there are levels of it. Now, and at this same budget, so we are talking about somebody who's spending between, say, 5 to 15, 20 lakhs on their home. We are not talking about multi-crore homes. We are not talking about those 50 to 1 crore
feasible.
homes, right?
Yeah,
I'm saying in this budget, other than one is you want to have everything, a space for everything in your house, right? Beyond that, so you're traveling a lot, you want to make sure that when you get home, you have your geyser has been switched on a little while before, especially if you're living by yourself. If you have help, you're living with a large family, it's different. But say in the way we are, a lot of homes are nuclear. You want your geyser switched on, you want your oven switched on because somebody's put food in, right? You can do this in a connected home, but earlier connected homes were really expensive.
Yeah.
But technology has made it accessible today. But does a designer / contractor / somebody who's providing the service,
No, they don't know about it.
do they know how to put it together for
No,
you?
they don't.
And give you the solution in a price that is of value to you, right?
Yeah.
So right now we're able to give, whether it's Alexa or Google Home, something we're also comfortable with
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I can give you that solution in 35,000.
Wow, brilliant.
Which used to cost, I remember doing this custom for clients in like 5-10 lakhs before.
Yeah.
So when we say customization, a lot of people automatically assume it's going to be really expensive. It's not true, because we are customizing for 200 people a month, for 250 people a month. So at that, there is a team that is looking into the R&D of this every day, and they make it accessible to everybody, right? Which brings me back to one of the reasons I told you about the difficulties of it, but the mission to start this was, can we democratize design to everybody?
Right.
Because right now, middle class India doesn't have access to good design. You have access to good pictures on Pinterest and Instagram, and you're seeing that, right? And you're inspired by it. You want it, but you don't know. Design
But you
is not
don't
just
know.
how it looks, right? Design is how things work. How does it work in your house? How does it make your life simple? How does it reflect who you are? Do you have a guest room, for example, that makes sense to you?
But
Things like
don't you think that somewhere the middle class mindset, when we talk about, I mean, wouldn't call it, but then we do have a stereotypical mindset when people would be like, every penny saved is every penny gained. And in fact, how do you go about combating that? Do you find a price challenge here when you kind of do your pricing?
So we're extremely price competitive. So at the range that we're actually talking about, see, I still think we're going to be working really hard to have solutions for people who want to get an entire home's interiors done in less than 5 lakhs, less than 3 lakhs. I don't have a solution at that budget yet. So you want to get your entire home done in less than 3 lakhs, I don't have a solution yet, right? So that's something we're working on right now. But then at this level, we buy directly from the manufacturers. We don't buy from retailers or distributors, which means we've cut out those margins.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you're able to do this at volume, we have our own factory setup. So we don't pay margins to outsource factories.
Right.
We have our own labor, we pay salaries and not, project percentages.
Right.
At every level, when you're able to pass on these costs, which is why we have never suffered from price matches to our customer. We are very, very competitive, and they're looking at prices, right? Today's customer is very conscious of this. He will come here sometimes with another estimate and say, see, I've got this price, what are you giving me? But we are confident that we can give him a better deal, and not by artificially inflating the price and bringing it down. We don't do all of these gimmicks, right? Everything is visible. We were the first ones to put prices on our website.
Brilliant. That's
And we
good.
said, this is what it
Transparency.
is.
That's
Absolutely.
good.